Welcome back to our channel Motion, and today we'll be discussing One Piece chapter 1158. This week's cover page reveals a very huge information about the grave of a great hero in Wano, whose name is revealed to be Kozuki Moria. He's probably related to Gecko Moria. Now this raises many questions about Moria. First of all, how is he related to Odin? Is he a cousin of sort or some kind of relative? And we know for a fact that the Kozuki clan made the poneglyphs. So does Moria know how to read them as well? This could probably open the gates for Cross Guild to have a poneglyph reader in their crew. As one of the 4 emperors, Buggy deserves a person who knows how to read road poneglyphs. This could also be a reason why Moria fought Kaido in Wano for the first place, as he wanted to liberate his country. This would add another layer to Moria's character and why he fought Kaido. Now with the cover page out of the way, let's get on to the main chapter. This chapter begins with a very unhappy Roger sitting in his ship, and the reason for him being unhappy is because a certain someone, namely Rayleigh, has received a letter. A handwritten letter from Shaki herself. In the letter, Shaki wanted Rayleigh to find her, and this makes Roger very unhappy. And I think we all know the reason why he is very unhappy. After that, we move on to the Holy Land, where we see Garling talking to the 5 elders. And he is suggesting an island named God Valley as the next place for the hunting games. By the way, the last hunting game was held just a year ago, and at first this might look that Garling is very impatient and want to start another hunting game right away. But he also mentions the reason for choosing this particular island as the next place for the hunting games. He mentions quite a few interesting things, that this island has various natural resources like ores and stuff. But he also mentions something that caught the attention of most of the readers in this chapter, that he found something really important, and the Great One, or we know him as Emu, would love to see. Now there are various things that Emu would love to see in this world. For example, a certain someone who spread the road poneglyphs throughout the world many years ago, and Emu has a portrait of the same person in his room. But it's not probably that. It could be related to a certain poneglyph, a certain road poneglyph, or even maybe a ancient weapon. Who knows what it could be. I think we're going to find what it is about in the next chapter, as we are very close to the God Valley incident, and probably the next chapter is the chapter where we find out what really happened there. But let's see what happens. Then we cut to Hachinosu, where we find ourselves in Shaki's bar, and we see everyone in the bar just simping over her, and yes, everyone would have expected to see that. We also find out big news that Rox, the guy Rox Razorback, found someone. Something happened, and now he's expecting a child. This child is most certainly Blackbeard. This flashback is about 40 years ago, and this would be the perfect timing to introduce Blackbeard, aka Marshall D. Teach. And the very next panel, we see Roger barged into the bar. By the way, there was a huge line outside the bar, and Roger probably beat them all up in order to get inside the bar. Now, there is a rule that you cannot fight inside Shaki's bar, but there is no written rule that you cannot beat everyone in the line to get inside the bar quickly. And as we all know, Roger probably beat them all up. That is a very smart way of getting inside the bar. You just don't have to wait for 30 days straight, as a few pirates were waiting there for over a month probably. Roger's entry was followed by a banter between Rox and Roger, which ultimately leads to Rox leaving the bar. Now we also see Shaki coming to Roger and asking him quietly that is Rayleigh here, and when said that he wasn't there, Shaki kind of lost her spark and lost her interest to talk to any person in the bar. We also see a cool panel between the contrast of Rox and Roger. That was probably the most serious facial expression we got from Roger in the whole flashback. This was immediately followed by a clash between Rox and HARALD. Their fight was drawn in various double page spreads, and the fight was full of haki clashes, haki waves being spread throughout the island, and it is very hard to describe this cool and epic fight. You guys have to go and check it out for yourself. The One Piece anime will probably make it look very epic and awesome. And we also learned that this marks the end of friendship between both Rox and King HARALD. And the narrator also mentioned that there was no definitive winner in this fight, and this was probably the last fight between them until they met again in God Valley, because this was the place where Rox died. Unless somehow Rox managed to survive God Valley, Probably not, but the deciding factor in God Valley could very well be King Herald, who probably was the one to hit the final nail in the coffin for the end of Rock's Razorback. And at the ending moment of the chapter, we could see a lady carrying two twin children with red hairs, which are revealed to be Shanks and Shamrock as babies. Now in the anime, Garling had yellow or blonde hairs, so their mother probably had red hairs and their babies probably took the hair color of their mother. And we did not see the face of their mother, but it is not very One Piece thing to see so many mother characters in one flashback. Most of the time mother characters are very neglected in the whole story. So it is good to see Oda changing the pace of the story and providing a more character to the mother characters in the whole story. This chapter was probably one of the very best chapters that Oda has delivered in a flashback arc. It had a bit of everything from some funny jokes to a bit of story revelation to some lore piece as well. And this is one of those few chapters where the cover story had a very huge reveal, like Kozuki Moria for example. And I cannot wait to see the connection between Moria and the other characters of the Kozuki clan. If you have watched this far to the video, then please do like this video, share this video with your fellow anime and One Piece fans, and subscribe to our channel Animotion for more anime related content. That is it. I am out. Peace.